you lived in this area, you were probably one of two things. You were a trapper, trader, or you were Native American. This area was populated by the Iroquois or the Haudenosaunee, and specifically here would have been the Mohawk. Now, when we travel east to west across New York State, we have the Thruway. Nice and easy, bing, bang, boom. They weren't that fortunate. They did trails, they did paths. The Thruway actually started out as a footpath. We have it now that we drive on. The other way, though, which was easier, because with a footpath, you got to worry about the mud and the rain and the weather and all that other fun stuff. So they used the waterways, the natural waterways. This area of New York State, the Mohawk Valley, is the only natural break in the Appalachian chain of mountains. You can go up and over the mountains, but that's a pain in the butt if it's the 1700s and you've got your feet, or maybe if you're really lucky, a horse. You might have had a wagon, but odds weren't real good with that. So mountain climbing, not everybody's favorite thing to do. So you would use the natural waterways. Because we have this break in the Appalachian chain, a lot of people use this. The same path for hundreds of years. Because if you came up like from New York City and you come up the Hudson River, you turn left just north of Albany, and that gets you onto the Mohawk River, which will bring you all the way to about the other side of that church down there, where the Mohawk River headwaters are, or where it stops. Then you've got a spot of land before you get to the next waterway, which is Wood Creek, which you'll actually get to see today when you're over at the village. Once you get into Wood Creek, you can go all the way through Oneida Lake, up the Oswego River, to the Great Lakes. From there, you can head anywhere. But this is where the problem area came in. Now, those of us around here have been told for years it's called the Dale Wayne Stop. Yeah, well, there's no proof that it actually was ever called that, but that's what they call it. We refer to it as the Carry, the Oneida Carry, or the Great Carry. I think the reason they called it the Great Carry was distance-wise, because between the Mohawk River over here and Wood Creek, which starts out over the village, depending on the time of year, is how wide that distance is. In the springtime, after the snow melts and the water's really high, it could be 3 miles, maybe, between. And August, when it's so hot and everything's dry and your grass is green and crunchy, then it's going to be almost 6 miles. So imagine, you're a trapper out in the Great Falls of Niagara out there, and you're bringing all your stuff in, and you get to the end of Wood Creek. Okay, well now you got to take everything out of your boat, which would have been about the size of the one we've got covered that we wanted to do. You're going to take everything out of the boat. Now you have to carry the boat that's 6 miles over to your next body of water. Then you have to walk back to where all your stuff is. And depending upon how much stuff you have, how many furs you want to trade, you might have to make 1 or 2 more trips to get back to your boat. That's a lot of walking in one day, toting stuff. Then you can get back in your boat and continue on your journey. But my own personal opinion is that's why they called it the Great Carry, because you carried a lot, you carried it often. But that also was your transportation. So if you wanted to get from point A to point B, and it didn't matter whether you were a trapper, trader, or a Native American, that's what you did. You didn't think anything of it. During the French and Indian War, the British weren't real keen on having the French use that waterway. So they thought, well, you know what? We'll build a few forts. If we build a couple of forts, we'll be the toll booth. We will control who gets past us. And if we don't want them to get past us, we won't let them get past us. So they built a couple of really great little forts. Not as big as ours, but forts nonetheless. Again, today when you go down when you go over to the village and you go to the head of Wood Creek, you will actually be standing at Fort Bull. which there are no walls or anything left anymore, but you can see the shape of the fort. It's really kind of cool. So they built Fort Bull, and they built Fort Wood Creek and a couple other little ones. They were more like munitions forts. They were never meant to be, hey, we're going to have a whole bunch of people and we're going to defend this area. It's like, well, we'll defend the area, but I think what we're going to do instead is we'll take and put all of our gunpowder and our cannonballs and everything we need right here and it'll be safe. Well, the French found out about that and went, you know what? They said, really easy way to do this. If we blow up the fort, they won't have any ammunition. And that's, in essence, what the French did. They came through and they blew up the forts. Well, that didn't work out quite the way the British had hoped. So they decided, well, maybe if we go to the other side of the Carry, it'll be more friendly. So they came over here, and in 1758, they built the original Fort Stanwix. Built as a British fort. For the French and Indian War, the 7 Years' War, kind of depends on which one you want to call it. A couple years later, French and Indian War is over. This is the middle of nowhere, truly the middle of nowhere. So everybody's going, we have to be here? We don't want to be here. We're not going to be here. Let's just leave it. And the British abandoned the fort. Fast forward again, another couple of years. Now America's getting a little ticked off with Great Britain. Don't want to be ruled by Great Britain. And this whole idea of revolution is growing. Again, someone says, you know, if we could control the Carry, if we can control that one little spot, it's up to us who passes through and who doesn't. So what they decide to do is man a fort. Oh, we need to build a fort. No. There's already one over there. And like a good real estate agent, you know, it's a fixer-upper. It's only been left alone for a couple of years. Can't be that hard to fix, which is just what they did. The Americans came in, made it a little bigger, a little better, a little stronger, reinforced things, made it so it would work for their purpose. Now here's where the really boring history part comes in. During the summer of 1777, the British were planning what they referred to as their three-prong attack. Is that breeze too chilly anymore?
The what?
Is the breeze too chilly?
No.
Okay, I was saying, because if you are, we kind of step over there where there isn't the breeze right now. To duck under the overhang. And that way, if it decides it's going to rain, we can duck under the overhang. Sometimes you just stand around and you go, so which way is the wind going? Okay, I think I'll stand here.
Yeah, my hair is
What do you want a hat? Yeah. Hat. You don't get to take them off later and go, hey, hair. Woohoo. That's okay. There we go. There, now. Mostly out of the breeze. A little bit better. So, we've got this whole three-pronged attack going on, okay? The British are trying to stop these rebel upstarts. We're just going to, stop them in their tracks, and that'll be that. Well, General Howe's going to come up from New York City, up the Hudson, and Burgoyne is going to come down from Lake Placid area and down through, and Barry St. Ledger is supposed to bring the troops in from Oswego. Piece of cake, okay? Using the whole waterway. Come down the Oswego River, through Oneida Lake, Wood Creek, boom, cross the Carry, into the Mohawk, and he could be over by Saratoga and Schenectady and Albany. And three-prong attack. We'll stop those rebels breaking their tracks. Well, unfortunately, down that way, their scouts had said, well, there seem to be people in the fort. I don't think it's anything we need to worry about. So St. Ledger was pretty happy with it. Figured, good deal. Now, he doesn't have an awful lot of troops, but what he's done is talked the Mohawk Indians into siding with them. Now, before our Revolutionary War, the Iroquois were in a period known as their Great Peace, meaning they all agreed they were going to get along and not fight against each other. Piece of cake. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. During our Revolutionary War, they picked sides. The Oneidas and the Tuscaroras were with us. All the rest of them were on the British side. So there's the first split right there. And in some cases, that's a family split. That's a civil war within the Iroquois clan. Well, here comes St. Ledger, and he's coming with probably 400 Mohawk. About 200 of his guys, and they figured, we got this, piece of cake. We're going to come down here, we're going to lay siege to the fort. Shouldn't take us a couple of days, and it's all good. Well, he gets here, and the force is a whole lot bigger than he's planned on. So they kind of settle in. We're going to have a siege, going to be here for a while. Okay, we got this. They're sending cannons into the fort, musket fire. Everybody that's in the fort is stuck in the fort. You can't come out, because if you come out, you're going to get killed, or you're going to get blown up, or something equally as exciting. So, by this point, there's two entryways into the fort. One is the main one that we'll go through in a little while. The other one is an area known as the Sally Port, which is kind of like the back door. So you could send people out that way so that they could get messages out. You could sneak people in there. Kind of handy to have. So at this point in time, when St. Ledger shows up with his 600, there's already 800 in the fort. Just waiting. Just waiting.
That's more people than we have in our high school today. Pretty crowded.
Yeah.
So that's much smaller than our high school.
And that was only built for 400 men. So now you got 800 in there. Please like your neighbors. Everybody get along. I'll bet it's really crowded.
Your neighbor.
So, a week into it, St. Ledger sends a message into the fort. And if you guys will just, right, Uncle, surrender, it's all good. The ends of the fort like, no, don't think so. Thanks, but no thanks. Another week goes by. St. Ledger sends another message in. Hi, yeah, same offer. Just surrender. It's all good. Gansevoort basically sends out the same answer. No. Thanks for asking, but no. Well, now at this point, those Mohawk that have been here with them, hey, they're not so happy because they were told it was going to be fairly quick. Boom, boom, we'll go, we'll take the fort, we'll keep right on going, everything will be good. It's not working. Now they've been sitting here for 2 weeks. They got other things they want to do. They do not necessarily want to be stuck sitting here. So they look at St. Ledger and they go, bye, we're out of here, see ya. So suddenly here's 400 people leaving. So now St. Ledger's down to, about 200. Not real good odds, 200 against 800. So he sends another letter into the fort. Hi, remember us? We're the ones outside trying to bomb you and blow you up. You know, if you'll just surrender, it's all good. And if you guys surrender, we'll let you go. We won't take any prisoners. We won't kill anybody, maim anybody. So everybody will be happy. It'll be a beautiful thing. Well,
These were civilizations that were battling, not savages.
oh, correct.
That's the idea here, right?
Right, right.
Gentlemen, make an agreement. We're not going to fight, and let's just shake hands and
Pretty much.
take your weapons and go home.
Yeah, everybody just go home. Unfortunately, Gansevoort knew that was a bunch of malarkey. But that was not going to happen. That if they did surrender, they could be killed, they could be scalped, they could be,
Careful.
wounded, injured, terrorized.
The Indians were on board because they'd been promised a lot of things.
They had, but after about 2 weeks into the siege, they were kind of ticked off with St. Ledger. And they went, this is not what we signed up for. Bye-bye. And left him holding the fort with tries the last time to get Gansevoort to surrender the fort. Gansevoort basically, again, gives them the same answer, third time's a charm, and says, no, I'm not doing it. We are not surrendering. And actually, Fort Stanwix is the only fort during the Revolutionary War that never surrendered.
Oh, my.
I don't consider West Point a fort, so that's why, you know,
I gotcha.
West Point is West Point. It's not a fort per se. And man, I would. Have you been down to West Point? Oh, you should go just to go see the chains that they put down in the river. They are so cool because they put chains across the river and you couldn't see it block the boats.
This actually comes to mind. I used to like William Henry and George and Tech got
Yep,
really good.
yep. They're
Same
very
era.
similar era and a very defensible design, which was really important at the time. So, needless to say, St. Ledger kind of has to get word to Howe and Burgoyne and say, okay, look, I'm not going to make the little soiree here. I'm really sorry. He doesn't like it. We win because we're left holding the ground. And maybe because of this, because of St. Ledger's not getting over to the Albany area, did that make a shift in whether or not America won the battle for their independence? We like to joke here that we're the most important spot you've never ever heard of. Because of what people you go, well, but cute sidebar. When the British built it, they named it Fort Stanwix. Whereas a lovely lady from England corrected me the other day. It's Stanwix, dear. It's not Fort Stanwix. Stanwix. And I'll tell you this because my granny lives in Stanwix.
It's like
Okay.
Worcester instead of Worcester.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
It's Worcester.
Okay.
So, yeah, I kind of
So,
went,
Okay.
they were coming through. This
Okay.
carry is important for the British supply lines too. They figure if it's going to be
Oh,
an
sure.
extended campaign.
this was it. This was your break in the Appalachian chain. So if you need to get from point A to point B in the
I've been
United
doing this
States,
for 17 minutes now.
this was the easiest choice.
So can we do a quick divergent? What if St. Ledger and the Indians, instead of trying to get this fort to surrender, just blew right by it, said, okay, waving, you guys stay inside, we're on our way. They would have run into Herkimer anyway.
Depending upon how long they decided before they went on, they may have run into Herkimer. This started August 3rd. Herkimer happened August 6th.
Right.
So if it was the 3rd and the 4th when they were kind of tootling on by here,
They would have met Herkimer much closer to his home or someplace like
right.
that.
So, you know, I don't think the Battle of Oriskany would have been the battle it was. Had St. Ledger just kind of went, shh, everybody be quiet, we're going to go by at night. Okay, they won't see us. Would have been a whole different battle.
That'd been a whole different war.
Yeah, yeah, very well could have been.
So are we equidistant from the Mohawk and Wood Creek? Are we closer to the Mohawk?
You're much closer to the Mohawk here. The Mohawk is actually the headwaters start, like I was telling the girls, just the other side of the church and the high tension lines over there. Very easy. This would be the eastern door of the carry, where Fort Bull, or the remains of it now, would be the western door of the carry. There were different factions over the years that really tried to like set up businesses at the edge of the carry. Hey, yeah, we'll tote your stuff for you. Happy to move it. Happy to move it. You've traveled far. You're very tired. We'll take care of that for you. We'll take care of it. We'll be happy to. So there was a business there. There were businesses that sprang up, settlers. You know, hey, you need some more dried jerky? We got just the ticket here. How's that cook pot holding up? Need a new one? It's gonna be cold tonight. Buy some furs, lovely furs. So it really, not only was it a transportation route, but it started the growth in the area. After the siege, after the Revolutionary War, the fort was manned for quite a few years after the Revolutionary War, and the poor guys in the fort really didn't even want to be here. Again, middle of nowhere, nothing going on. Your family is days' journeys away, and you're stuck.
On and off to serve the purpose of Walmart and Price Chopper today.
Pretty much.
It was your trading post, not just your military defense post.
Correct. There were settlers that were here, so you could get things. This was your Google. If you wanted information as to what's going on in the area, man, go to the fort. Because they know what's going on. And they can tell you, you know, this is good in the area, this is not good in the area. Oh, the Oneidas are cranky right now. You don't want to go over there, the Mohawk are getting really ticked off again. You know.
1763, proclamation line comes right through here.
Yep.
1768, treaty here. What's the next big treaty we get?
81?
81 for Fort Stanwix.
Yep.
So it is a dividing line. It's a focal point
For many years.
for geographers, political leaders, etc.
Yep, yep. And unfortunately, the folks that were making
Where
up
we
all
are?
these lines and rules and
Here and then
boundaries
you can now really.
did not always
then we're
necessarily
going out to
pay
eat for
attention
lunch.
to what they just done. So, something to think about. Ready to head over to the fort?
Let's go.
You have to use the bathroom first.
No.
Okay. Always like to ask, because it's right in there.
We know there's bathrooms at the fort.
Yes, we do, and they might even be open.
Did you get to fire the cannon?
You know, I might have enough guys in there. Oh, wait, no, I don't have anybody there with blood. No,
We can do it. Give them a ramrod and a whip.
will we all?
I love this grass right here. This is by design, huh?
All of this, the grass is indicative to what was here
Yeah.
when the fort was here. These are natural grasses that would have grown in this area. And believe it or not, they're like heirloom weeds.
Passed down from generation to generation.
Probably so. We had a lady come in the other day and she said, oh, look at, you know, it's kind of like wheat, right? And we went, well, sort of, kind of. And she said, but if I grind it and make bread out of it, how will that do? And I said, I really wouldn't suggest it. You'll get very sick. It was not a food crop.
Hey, look, Christmas grass go hiding.
Yeah, we could. That would make a great little picture.
Rochelle, did you not hear my question earlier?
What?
I asked if Will worked here.
I said, you have the grass and I'll do all the
Will.
photographs so I can use it.
It's going to be wet in a while.
Wait, will you take it with our phone?
Yeah.
I guess I can